The most controversial part of All-Stars isn't who makes it, it's who doesn't make it. There are elite snubs this year, but what do you expect? The NBA is so competitive, except the Hornets. No offense, but they're the one team that's like bad and boring. But I want to lay out the 2023 All-Stars and explain why some really good players did get snubbed. But the NBA has changed the All-Star voting. Before 2013, a center was mandatory, which was dumb because the league was going smaller. In 2017, fans voted 100% for the starters. That almost led to 6-point per game Zaza Pachulia starting. So they fixed that. Now fans only account for 50% of the vote. But then Warrior fans had to mess it up again. Last year, Andrew Wiggins was a starter. And don't tell me he deserved it. He only made it because he's a Warrior. Now, because of that, we can't vote on Twitter anymore and we can only vote one time per day. Thanks a lot, Warriors. But we still have ridiculous fan votes like Derrick Rose and Austin Reeves. But look, I get it. It's a popularity contest. But why don't we look at the actual deserving All-Stars and why the snubs missed out? The All-Star teams are 2 backcourt and 3 frontcourt starters, 2 backcourt, 3 frontcourt bench players, and 2 wild cards from any position. My East starting backcourt, Donovan Mitchell, who is the best player on the Cavs, and Tyrese Halliburton. Sorry, Kings fans, you did lose that trade. Tyrese leads the NBA in assists, shoots 40% from 3, and is a good defender. But there's controversy in the starting frontcourt. It is between Kevin Durant, Giannis, Jason Tatum, and Joel Embiid. You have to pick 3. Someone is snubbed, and it's Jason Tatum. Look, I actually considered benching Giannis because he's actually been pretty inefficient lately, but he's missing Chris Middleton, so I don't blame him having to carry all that load. And Embiid has had to carry Philly with injuries to Harden and Tyrese Maxey. Did you know the highest scoring game this year was not Donovan Mitchell's 71? It was Embiid's 59, if you don't count overtime. But look, Tatum would have been a backcourt starter, but they only have him listed in the frontcourt. The East bench guards start with Kyrie Irving. Look, I clown him for being a distraction, but this is about on the court play. If I was to knock him for all the scandal in the beginning of the season, that wouldn't be fair. If you hear anybody leave him off their All-Stars because of that stuff, they are biased. Kyrie is efficient with low turnovers. He hits clutch shots. His defense sucks, but look, that's not new. And he's made the All-Star team 7 times. Although I will say, Kyrie would be my first guy to get knocked out here if the Nets keep losing games like they did against the Celtics and Kyrie isn't playing well. Then Jaylen Brown. Despite sharing the spotlight with Tatum, Jaylen is scoring a career high in points and is a great defender on the best team in the league. The bench forwards are Tatum, like we said, then Pascal Siakam. Toronto is down this year, but it's not because of Pascal. He is scoring a career high in points. Feels like everybody is this year, by the way. Grabs a ton of rebounds, plays good defense. And Jimmy Butler. And I thought about leaving him off because he's been injured so much, but like, did you see him against OKC? Dude is a top 15 player. You cannot leave off Jimmy Buckets. He's also an elite defender. He gets to the free throw line whenever he wants. My 2 wild cards are Julius Randle and Bam Adebayo. Yeah, that means Drew Holiday, Trae Young, DeMar DeRozan, Kristaps Porzingis, James Harden, Jalen Brunson, and Darius Garland are snubs. And I want to explain Trae. He's having the least efficient season of his career. He is one of the worst defenders in the NBA. Oh, but he has 27 points and 10 assists. Yeah, with a top 5 usage rate. How many other guys in the league would have huge numbers like that if they dominated the offense like Trae does? I am also snubbing DeMar DeRozan, who honestly was a really hard snub for me. He is amazing, but Julius Randle is like right back to where he was when he was an All-Star. He is one of the leaders in minutes played, key to the Knicks defense, and why they are surprisingly good this year. Bam Adebayo is Miami's leader on defense, and where we heard this before, Bam having a career high in points. But I most felt bad about snubbing Darius Garland because he has been such a good teammate, letting Spida come in and do his thing. Like, Darius Garland made the All-Star team last year. This year, like, no one's even talking about it. And we know the reason why. It's because he had another guy come in and take it over as his team. It reminds me of what Steph did when Kevin Durant came to the Warriors. And so it sucks that a guy gets punished for not being a diva about his own stats, but that's how it is. The West starting guards are Luka Doncic and Stephen Curry. Steph has missed games. He is still the best offensive player alive. Not only is he scoring 30 points per game, he is shooting 50% from the field, 43% from 3, 92% from the line. add the way his gravity creates easy looks for teammates, he should be MVP if the Warriors were better. Frontcourt starters Nikola Jokic, who is my MVP right now. Dude can average a triple-double and it leads to winning. LeBron James, who's averaging 34 points the last 11 games, and Zion Williamson. Had the Pelicans in first this year without Brandon Ingram for a long stretch. Dominant on offense as usual, but now he is a lot more engaged on D. Guard bench, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Ja Morant, and I am so glad that SGA is getting his first All-Star. Our frontcourt bench starts with Domantas Sabonis, who deserves props. 19 points a game, leading the NBA in boards. Look, I don't hate Domantas Sabonis. He's an All-Star for me, but like Tyrese Haliburton, if we're talking about the trade, is 4 years younger, and a guard like Tyrese has a much bigger impact on the team than a guy like Sabonis. Anthony Davis, who has been injured, but forget his stats of 27 points and 12 boards. Okay, that's great on offense. Some advanced metrics say he is the best defender in the NBA. And Lauri Markkanen, my most improved player this year. 25 points on 42% from three, and he has played 40 of 43 games, and the Jazz are so much better than we thought, okay? And the All-Star game is in Salt Lake City. Lauri Markkanen has to be there. Plus, have you seen his All-Star campaign manager?
I've got some new merch. The finisher, vote for Lowry. Colin Sexton, please come to my table, sir. Do we have your vote for Lauri Markkanen? I'm Lowry's campaign manager. We'd love to have your vote.
Man, Walker Kessler, what a great teammate. Too bad the Timberwolves just threw him into the Gobert trade like he was extra guac. My two wildcards, Devin Booker and Paul George. So the snubs, Damian Lillard, Jeremy Grant, Aaron Gordon, De'Aaron Fox, Jaren Jackson Jr., Christian Wood, and CJ McCollum. Look, Dame is averaging 27 points and 7 assists, but his efficiency is down. He's dealt with injuries again at times this year, and we thought the Blazers were gonna be average, right? And at first, they totally surprised us, but lately they have been really average. They have the same amount of wins as the Lakers. Devin Booker has been a beast, including his 58-point game against New Orleans, but his impact is obvious now. Since he's been gone, the Suns are 2-10. Paul George is an elite two-way guard, back to his career efficiency. I wanted to give that last spot to Aaron Gordon. He's the second best player on the best team, but like if his main case is he's the second best player on the best team, that's just not enough. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been really good since coming back, but he's still on limited minutes. I could have sworn before the season we were gonna have at least one Timberwolf be an All-Star or at least a snub, but the Rudy Gobert trade just hasn't worked out. I know they're playing better recently, but Karl Anthony Towns has been injured. What's gonna happen when he comes back? And just how bad was that trade? I went over the 3 worst trades that we have seen in recent NBA history. Check it out.